Lay back. Let the world around you soften. Let your breath deepen just a little, and close your eyes. We are going somewhere far away tonight. So far, it's not even a place. It's a moment. Not just long ago, but before the word ago had meaning. Before calendars, before planets, before light. We begin in the dark. Not a scary dark, not the dark of lost things or empty corners, but a soft, waiting darkness. Still. Silent. Perfect. There was no sky, no stars, no sound, no wind. Just possibility. A breath not yet taken, a note not yet sung. And then, something changed. We don't know why. We may never know. But there was a spark. Not a fire, not a flame, not a match being struck. It was everything, compressed into something so impossibly small that it had no inside or outside. It was all that ever would be. And then it began. An expansion, a swelling, not into space, because there was no space, but space itself began to unfold. A breath. The first breath of the universe. Some call it the Big Bang, but that name can be misleading. It wasn't a bang, not an explosion. It was a blossoming, a rising, like a flower made of time unfolding in all directions. And in the tiniest fraction of a second, that spark grew. It stretched, it spun. From nothing came everything. But at first, it was still too hot for stars, too dense for light. The universe was a haze, thick with energy, glowing without form. Time had begun, but it hadn't yet learned how to walk. Everything was in motion, and nothing had shape. And you were there. Not as a person, not even as a cell or a thought, but as possibility, as atoms yet to be formed, as potential written into the very fabric of that expanding space. You were already part of the story. The universe continued to stretch, cool, soften, and slowly the haze began to clear. Photons, little packets of light, were finally free to move. That's when the universe became visible. That's when the first light appeared, not from stars, not yet, but from the very fabric of space itself. That glow, that first breath of visible light, is still around us today. It's everywhere. It hums in the microwave sky, a faint, ancient whisper that scientists can still hear. It's called the cosmic microwave background, and it's the baby picture of the universe. From that quiet light, all things would come. Stars, galaxies, dust, and eventually, you. But for now, let's rest in that first light. Let it warm you. Let it wash over you like a quiet tide. You are floating in something ancient, something vast, something that knows your name, even if it hasn't yet formed your body. The darkness isn't empty. It's full of beginnings. And you are part of it. So breathe with it. Let yourself go soft. We're only just beginning. Breathe in, slowly. And as you do, imagine this. The breath you just took was made possible by something ancient, older than Earth, older than the stars themselves. Hydrogen, the first child of the universe. After the first light appeared, the universe kept expanding and cooling, and as it cooled, energy transformed into matter. Not all at once, not with sudden form or sharp lines, but softly, patiently. The same way dew gathers on a petal, matter began to collect. Tiny particles found one another, they paired up, they spun, they held on. And from that slow, invisible waltz, the very first atoms were born. Most of them, over 90%, were hydrogen. Simple, elegant, just a single proton and a single electron. A tiny universe in itself.
Hydrogen was everywhere. It was the first ingredient, the flour in the bread, the canvas before the paint, the breath before the voice. And it filled the young cosmos like a gentle mist. Clouds of hydrogen floated across the darkness. They gathered in great invisible waves, so vast that galaxies would one day form inside them. But for now, they were soft, unfinished, resting. Still, where there is gathering, there is gravity. And where there is gravity, there is the beginning of heat. Clouds of hydrogen began to collapse, slowly, inward, drawn by their own weight. And deep within their hearts, the pressure began to rise. Atoms collided, heat built, and eventually, something extraordinary happened. Hydrogen lit itself on fire, not with a spark, not with a match, but from sheer pressure. The atoms began to fuse, to join together, to become something new, and in doing so, they released light. Stars were born. The first stars in the universe were made almost entirely of hydrogen. They were huge, hot, brilliant. They burned like nothing else had ever burned before. And you were there too. Not watching, not separate, but part of it. The hydrogen in those stars is the same hydrogen that fills your body now. In every breath you take, in every drop of water you drink, in every cell, there is hydrogen. Some of it, the very same that formed just after the Big Bang. It has never changed, never left. It passed from stars to clouds, to oceans, to you. When you hold a cup of water, you're holding ancient history. You're holding atoms born in the first seconds of time. That is the miracle of hydrogen. So simple, so light, so abundant. And yet, from it, everything else became possible. It is the first note in the universe's symphony, the heartbeat that began the rhythm, the breath behind the stars. Let yourself feel that now. The quiet, endless presence of hydrogen, drifting, settling, singing softly. You are filled with it, shaped by it, carried on its rhythm. And even now, across the universe, clouds of hydrogen are still collapsing, still forming stars, still breathing fire into the dark. The story continues. And you? You are still in the middle of it. Drift now into a star. Not a cold, distant dot in the sky, not a symbol on a chart, but real, vast, alive. A star is not just a light. It is a forge, a workshop, a place of unimaginable pressure where matter is sculpted and time becomes creation. Let your mind float inside one now, its edges glowing, its center burning so hot no solid thing could survive. But you are not a solid thing here. You are thought. You are curiosity. You are a quiet witness to the greatest transformation in the universe. At the core of the star, hydrogen is being pressed together, squeezed so tightly that it turns into something else. Helium. Then, helium becomes carbon. Then oxygen, then nitrogen, then calcium, sodium, iron. Element by element, the star is building. It's working patiently, endlessly, turning simple atoms into the alphabet of the cosmos.
And it does this for billions of years. Stars don't rush. They create with rhythm, with breath. Each layer of the star becomes a shell of transformation. Hydrogen on the outside, fusing into helium. Helium fusing into carbon. Carbon into oxygen. Layer upon layer, a cosmic nesting doll of creation. And the elements being made are the same elements in you. The carbon in your muscles, the oxygen in your lungs, the calcium in your teeth and bones, the iron that moves through your blood, carrying oxygen from cell to cell. All of it was made in the heart of a star. Not figuratively, literally. You are not just connected to the stars, you were built by them. Your body is a continuation of their work. Your heartbeat is fueled by their fire. They gave you the tools, the atoms, the molecules, and over time, those tools became cells. Those cells became tissues, and those tissues became you. And when a star's work is done, when it has created all it can, it lets go. Some stars collapse into silence. Some fade gently into white dwarfs. But others, the massive ones, end in fire. A supernova. A moment of breathtaking beauty and violence. A final, brilliant exhale. In that moment, new elements are born, heavier than anything made before. gold, silver, uranium, platinum. The star breaks itself open to give the universe its rarest gifts. And those gifts scatter. They drift. They fall into new clouds. They become part of new stars, new planets, new life. Eventually, they become part of you. The gold in your jewelry, the calcium in your smile, the iron in your blood, all from the breath of dying stars. So tonight, as you rest, remember, you are not just made of matter. You are made of history, of rhythm, of fire, of patience. You are the work of countless stars, each one giving a part of itself so that you could one day exist. You are the product of cosmic generosity, of stellar alchemy, of light turned into life. So breathe slowly, deeply. Let yourself feel it. The elements in your body are older than Earth, older than the sun. They have waited billions of years to become you. And you are exactly where you're meant to be. Let's journey now to the nurseries of the stars, where color swirls in silence, and life begins as light. Now, imagine floating, not in water, not in air, but in something softer, like velvet made of light. Around you is a nebula, a stellar nursery, a place where stars are born. And not just stars, but the elements of planets, oceans, forests, breath. It begins as a cloud, but not like clouds here on Earth. These clouds stretch for light years. They are so vast, entire solar systems can be tucked inside them, like seeds in the folds of a rose. They're made of gas and dust, hydrogen, helium, carbon, oxygen. Everything that ever was, everything that ever will be. And they glow. Soft pinks, electric blues, violet swirls and amber trails. The light you see in them is not just reflection. It's energy. It's the glow of particles colliding, interacting, becoming something more. These clouds are quiet, but never still. Deep within them, gravity is at work, pulling atoms together, condensing patches of dust into something warmer, tighter, heavier, until suddenly, something changes. The cloud folds in on itself, and in the heart of that fold, a star is born.
Just like that. From dust
comes brilliance, and from brilliance comes everything else. But the star is not alone. Around it, dust and gas continue to swirl. They flatten into a disk. They spin. And within that disk, tiny grains of dust begin to stick together. They collide gently at first, then with more purpose. They gather, clump, grow. Over millions of years, those grains become rocks. Those rocks become boulders. Those boulders become worlds. Planets form. And among them, one may cool just right, with oceans, with atmosphere, with carbon and nitrogen and phosphorus, with life. This is how solar systems are made, how homes for life are born. And it all begins in these stellar nurseries, these cosmic clouds that look like dreams frozen in time. Some of them you may know by name: the Orion Nebula, the Eagle Nebula, the Carina Nebula, the Pillars of Creation. They are not just pictures in a book, they are cradles. And you? You were born from one of them. The atoms in your body passed through a nebula once, long before Earth existed, long before the moon rose, long before oceans sang or forests whispered. You floated in a cloud of color, of silence, of infinite possibility. And somehow, you made your way to here. To now. To this moment where you are resting and breathing and remembering. So let your body grow soft. Let your thoughts fall quiet. You are safe. You are held. You are made of the same stuff that makes stars and planets. You are the child of a nebula. You are the dust of dreams. And you have never been alone. The sun, the earth, and the ancient fire that still burns within us. Somewhere in the outer arm of a quiet spiral galaxy called the Milky Way, a cloud began to turn. It was not special. It was not different. Just a ripple in the endless breath of space. But inside it, gravity stirred. A quiet folding inward. A gathering of dust and gas. And in the heart of that fold, a light appeared. A small, trembling sun. Not yet bright, not yet strong, but full of fire waiting to rise. This was our sun. Before it had planets, before it had names, before it rose over mountains or warmed the backs of sleeping lions or reflected off oceans filled with life. It simply was. A newborn star. Surrounded by a spinning disk of tiny grains, carbon, ice, metal, stone. That swirling disk would soon become a family of worlds. Close to the sun, where the heat was strongest, rocky planets took shape. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Farther out, where the cold could hold gas and frost, giants were born. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. But let us return to the third one from the center. A pale, unfinished ball of molten stone.
Earth. Before oceans, before trees, before breath. It was hot, chaotic, a place of fire and storm. But it held the ingredients, the elements, the dust left behind by stars long gone. And over time, it cooled. Rain began to fall. For thousands, millions of years. Not gentle showers, but endless storms, carving valleys, filling basins, smoothing stone into rivers. And the oceans were born. Watery cradles shimmering with possibility.
Beneath their waves, something miraculous began to stir. The ingredients from starlight and nebulae combined, not with intention, but with rhythm, with time. And from those quiet combinations, life appeared. Simple at first, tiny, fragile cells, drifting like stars across a microscopic sky. But those cells held memory. They carried instructions, written in patterns of carbon and nitrogen and oxygen. Instructions that had waited billions of years to be read. And so they grew. They changed. They began to divide, to gather, to build. Until one day, those tiny sparks of life became forests and feathers and whales, and eventually, you. All from a single cloud around a single star in one small corner of the galaxy. You are not just a visitor here. You are part of Earth's story. Its bones are your bones. Its oceans are your blood. Its fire burns in your core. The iron in your veins was forged in the heart of a star. But the breath you take now was made possible by the trees of this world. You are both ancient and new. You are earth and sky, dust and dream. And the sun, our gentle star, still rises each morning to warm you, still watches over the story it helped begin billions of years ago. So tonight, as you rest on a planet that was shaped by light. You rest in the arms of something that remembers how you were made. And the stars above, they still shine with the same light that once gave you form. You have not drifted from your origins. You are orbiting them still. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw unclench. Let the weight of the day begin to drift away as we slip further into the deep time of memory. We are returning to the sea. Not the ocean you know, not waves and sand and foam, but the ancient sea, primordial, quiet, waiting. No color, no sound, only warm waters cradling the earth as it cooled from its fiery birth. Above, lightning dances in a heavy sky. Volcanoes hiss and sigh along the edges of landmasses still forming. Comets streak across the atmosphere, bringing gifts, water, organic molecules, the whispers of alien chemistry. And below it all, in the deep and dark, the elements begin to move.
carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur. Simple pieces, but when they collide, when they spiral, when they fold and stick, they begin to create something astonishing. The first organic molecules. Not alive, not yet, but almost. The building blocks of life are like shy dancers on a silent stage, coming together, drifting apart, trying again. Some form long curling chains. Others twist into rings. Some tangle. Some stretch. They form lipids, sugars, amino acids. And then one of them folds just right. A strand, perhaps RNA, begins to copy itself. Can you imagine it? In the silence of 1 billion years, a molecule repeats. Again and again. No voice told it to, no hands guided it. It simply knew in the way that hydrogen knew how to fuse, in the way that stars knew how to burn. It was following the quiet instructions woven into the laws of nature. The universe was learning how to remember. And from this ability to replicate, something new is born.
Selection, adaptation, change. The molecules become better at surviving. They form membranes, tiny bubbles that protect them from the chaos outside. These are the first cells, single-celled organisms floating through the quiet sea. They don't think, they don't feel, but they endure. They absorb energy, they divide, they evolve. They are still dust, but now dust that responds, dust that acts. And over time, some cells become more complex. They begin to specialize. They form communities. They share duties. Some protect. Some move. Some store food. Some become eyes, or wings, or lungs. The universe, once only stars and silence, now has biology. And biology has memory. This memory is carried in DNA, a double helix built from the ancient alphabet of the cosmos. A, T, C, G. Adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine. All made from carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen. All made from stars. These molecules are like libraries pressed into every cell of your body. They remember how to grow skin, how to shape a heart, how to mend a cut, how to cry, how to laugh. When you feel sorrow, your cells respond. When you feel love, your brain lights up with electricity that dances through elements forged in suns. That is the living dust. You are not just alive. You are life wrapped in time, wrapped in history.
The water in your blood once fell as rain before trees existed. The carbon in your body once flowed through ancient volcanoes or drifted through the Milky Way before Earth was even a dream. And those first cells, their descendants are still inside you, in your mitochondria, in your gut, in the way your body heals. They are your ancestors. You carry billions of years inside your skin. When you sleep with their rhythm. When you breathe with their gift. Because from those early cells, life kept evolving. And eventually, those cells became eyes that looked at stars and recognized them. You are stardust, yes, but you are also starlight awakened. You are the dream of stars, that one day the elements would walk and feel and wonder where they came from. And now you know. So breathe in now. Feel it. That breath is made of hydrogen older than any mountain, and the oxygen it carries, a gift from green things that learn to sing with sunlight. Let that settle into your bones. You are ancient. You are new. You are made of memory. You are living dust. And that dust remembers. Let your body soften now. Let your breath rise and fall gently, like the surface of a still lake. We are going to listen, not with ears, but with stillness, with wonder. Because tonight, you will hear how the planet learned to breathe. Long ago, when the earth was still young, still cooling from its molten birth, still blanketed in heavy clouds, the air was different. It was thick, harsh, made of gases that would choke the lungs of any creature alive today. There was no blue sky, no birds, no rustling leaves. The air was still finding its way.
But in the oceans, something quiet had already begun. Life, tiny, simple, ancient, was stirring. And among those early life forms were tiny blue-green beings, cyanobacteria. Not plants, not quite yet, but ancestors of green things to come. They were microscopic, invisible to the eye, but inside them a miracle was happening. They had learned a secret, a way to take sunlight and turn it into food. They didn't need to hunt. They didn't need to move. They only needed the sun. And so they began to rise, floating near the surface of the sea, soaking in the golden light that filtered through the water. And with each gentle spark of sunlight, they did something incredible. They released oxygen. A waste product at first, an accident, just something left over from their process. But this accident would change the world. At first, the oxygen was absorbed by the oceans. It reacted with iron, turning the seas a rusty red. Then it was absorbed by rocks,
trapped in minerals, locked away in stone. But eventually, the Earth had no more room to hide it, and the oxygen began to rise. Into the air. Into the sky. It didn't happen quickly. It took millions of years, longer than human minds can truly imagine. But slowly, the air began to change. It grew lighter, cleaner. It began to shimmer with a quiet new promise: breath. And the sky turned blue. It was the first great atmospheric shift, the great oxygenation event. And it was caused not by volcanoes, not by comets, not by anything loud, but by tiny green cells drifting in sunlit water. They were writing a new chapter in the story of life. And you, even now, carry their legacy in your lungs. Because those cyanobacteria gave rise to plants, and plants took that quiet song of photosynthesis and made it into an orchestra. Forests appeared, moss, grass, trees taller than cathedrals, leaves shaped like stars and feathers and fans, and all of them singing in sunlight, taking in carbon dioxide, the breath of animals and fire, and releasing oxygen back into the world. Each leaf became a tiny lung, each tree a cathedral of breath. And the earth transformed. The skies filled with birds, the oceans filled with fish, and the land filled with creatures who could breathe the air the trees had made. You are one of them. Every breath you take is a conversation with green things. When you inhale, you draw in the gift of leaves, oxygen made from sunlight and carbon. When you exhale, you return to them what they need to grow. You are in constant rhythm with the trees. You may not feel it in your busy days, your quiet worries, but right now, all around you, the world is breathing. The forest outside your window, the grass in your yard, the algae in distant seas, the moss in a forgotten corner of a stone wall. They are all part of your breath. You are not separate from nature. You are nature. You are the breath of stardust, made possible by roots and branches. And the same elements that form the stars now form the chlorophyll in leaves, green molecules capturing light, turning energy into matter, turning sunlight into life. Let that truth sink into your chest. Feel it rise and fall with your breathing. In, the world welcomes you. Out, you give something back. In, you receive what the trees have made. Out, you return your thanks. A quiet rhythm, older than humanity, older than language.
This is how stardust learned to sing, not with sound, but with breath. And even now, as you rest, your lungs remember. They move in time with the wind through leaves, with the sway of grasses, with the pulse of green life thrumming beneath the soil. So sleep gently tonight, knowing the forest breathes with you, the oceans breathe with you, the ancient cyanobacteria, the ferns, the oaks, the climbing ivy, they all whisper in your lungs. You are not alone. You are never alone. You are part of a song so vast that even stars listen. And in your breathing, they hear the earth's reply. Close your eyes if they've wandered open. Take a soft breath and imagine, not the stars in the sky, but the stars behind your eyes. Your mind is not just a place of thoughts. It is a universe,
a mirror, a map, and it was shaped by the very same forces that formed the galaxies. The atoms that spin inside your brain once spun in the cores of stars. The electricity that leaps from one cell to another once danced in lightning storms on the surface of newborn worlds. You are not looking at the universe. You are looking with it. Because the universe is not just out there. It is in here, in your bones, in your breath, in the rhythm of your heart. Let's begin small. Your body is made of atoms: hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen. Those atoms are made of protons, neutrons, electrons. They are mostly empty space, just like galaxies. A proton is tiny, so tiny you could line up 100,000 of them across the width of a single human hair. And yet, inside each one is energy, potential, structure. And those same forms repeat at every scale. The way electrons orbit nuclei is echoed by the way planets orbit stars. The swirl of hurricanes mirrors the shape of galaxies. The branching of trees matches the branching of your lungs. The network of neurons in your brain, the way they fire and connect and glow, looks startlingly similar to the large-scale structure of the universe. Filaments, voids, clusters. The web of galaxies and the web of thought, so far apart in scale, yet so hauntingly similar in design. As above, so within. You are a microcosm, a tiny echo of something vast, and yet entirely whole. And your consciousness? It is made from these same patterns, from chemical signals, from light and electricity, from stardust arranged so precisely that it became awareness. Think of that. The stars forged the materials. Life shaped the systems. And over time, those systems began to wonder. They began to feel awe. They began to ask questions. They began to dream. You are the universe dreaming of itself. The cosmos gave rise to stars, to planets, to oceans, to forests, and then to you. And now you are here, lying in stillness, listening to your breath, letting this truth wash over you like the tide. You are the reflection of all that ever was. And tonight, as you drift into sleep, that reflection will remain with you. Soft, shimmering, sacred. Because when the universe looks within itself, it finds you. Let yourself settle. Sink a little deeper into comfort, into warmth, into quiet.
Tonight, we are not traveling across galaxies. We are traveling inward. Into you. Into the stardust that lives in your breath, your blood, your bones. The universe is not something outside of you. It is inside you. It shaped you, not just with metaphor, but with matter. The very elements that make you alive were born in stars. And now they live in your cells. Let's meet them. One by one. Let's remember what you are made of. Hydrogen. The oldest whisper. Hydrogen is the simplest of all. One proton, one electron. It was the first element to appear after the Big Bang. And it is still the most abundant in the universe and in you. Over 60% of the atoms in your body are hydrogen. You are made of this first breath, this quiet, cosmic whisper. Hydrogen is in your water, in your DNA, in the fats that line your cells and the proteins that fold your muscles. It is the lightest element, and yet it carries memory from the birth of time. When you drink water, you are drinking the oldest thing you will ever touch. Hydrogen doesn't age. It doesn't rust or rot. It simply moves from cloud to cloud, from star to sea, from sky to skin. And now, it moves in you. You are full of ancient water. You are full of starlight's first breath. Leaf. Oxygen. Oxygen is life's partner. It binds, it fuels, it burns gently in every cell. It was not present in Earth's early atmosphere, but when plants began to sing with light, they gave us oxygen as a gift. And that gift now flows in your veins, in your lungs, in your thoughts. Oxygen is what allows fire to burn. And you, a walking constellation, carry a fire in your cells that never goes out. It is oxygen that fuels your movement, your voice, your dreams. It holds your breath. It lifts your chest. And it too was made in stars. Oxygen is born when stars fuse helium. It is exhaled in supernovae. It is scattered like glitter through the dark. You breathe it in without thinking. But tonight, think of it. Feel it. The stars once burned to give you this breath. And now, you breathe for them. Carbon. The skeleton of life. Carbon is the scaffolding, the framework, the black thread that holds you together. Every protein, every sugar, every strand of DNA. Carbon is the core. It binds to other atoms with remarkable generosity. Carbon loves to connect, to create. It is the artist's atom, the poet's atom. It gives form to thought, shape to love, mass to memory. Without carbon, life as we know it would not exist. And carbon, like all the other heavier elements, was not born in the Big Bang. It was made later, in stars.
Carbon was formed in the hot bellies of red giants, forged by the burning of helium, then cast into space when those stars died. It is the dust of endings that allowed you to begin. And it is still writing your story. Every breath you exhale carries carbon dioxide, your quiet signature on the air. You are carbon, and carbon is connection. Iron, the star's heartbeat. Iron is your anchor. It sits at the center of every red blood cell, carrying oxygen from your lungs to every quiet corner of your body. Iron makes your blood red. It makes you strong. It gives weight to your bones and power to your steps. But iron is not easy to make. It is the last gift of a dying star. When a massive star has burned every fuel it can, it creates iron in its final breath. Iron doesn't produce energy. It ends it. And when a star makes iron, it begins to collapse, then explodes. In that brilliant final act, a supernova, iron is scattered across the galaxy. That iron found its way into the dust that became Earth, and into the blood that became you. You carry the weight of star death in your body. You carry the quiet strength of collapse and renewal. Iron is the star's heartbeat, still echoing in your pulse. Calcium, the echo of stone. Calcium gives you form. It shapes your teeth. It builds your bones. It allows your muscles to contract, your heart to beat, your thoughts to leap across synapses. Calcium is the whisper of the earth. It forms limestone cliffs, shells of ancient sea creatures, stalactites in forgotten caves. And yet, it lives inside you, born in stars, stored in your skeleton. You are a walking cathedral of calcium, a monument to stone shaped by life. And when you sleep, your body uses calcium to restore, to rebuild, to remember. It is the element of grounding, of balance, of quiet structure. And it sings within your bones. Phosphorus, the spark of thought. Phosphorus is fire, not flame, but light. It glows in the dark. It fuels every cell. It powers the molecule ATP, the battery of life. Without phosphorus, your body could not move. Your brain could not think. Your cells could not divide. It is in your DNA, in your bones, in every spark of thought you've ever had. And it, too, was born in the death of stars. You carry fire, not just in metaphor, but in molecules. You are lit from within. Every blink, every laugh, every memory, a flicker of phosphorus. You are not just stardust, you are stardust with a mind, and that mind glows. You are made of all this, and more. Magnesium, sulfur, zinc, potassium, sodium. Each one with a story, each one with a journey that began in the heart of a star, traveled through the black of space, and arrived so gently in you. You are not a collection of parts. You are a poem written in the language of the universe, a constellation of elements, a memory of stars. And as you rest tonight, know this: every cell in your body remembers where it came from. Every atom knows how to sing, and tonight they are singing you to sleep. Softly, steadily, eternally. Because you, dear listener, are stardust that learned to breathe, and you carry the whole story in your bones. Breathe slowly now. Let your thoughts float like clouds drifting across a quiet sky.
Because where we're going is deeper than matter, deeper than atoms, deeper than breath. We're going to the place within you that knows it is alive. Your mind, your awareness, the quiet presence watching everything unfold. And it, too, was born of stars. Not in fire and fusion, but in pattern, in rhythm, in the slow assembling of atoms into chemistry, chemistry into cells, cells into thoughts. The spark of consciousness did not appear all at once. It rose slowly, like morning mist. The earliest life, simple, silent, floating, reacted to light, to pressure, to warmth. That was the beginning. A molecule moved, then another, then many. They began to share information, to process, to respond. In time, nerve cells appeared, long, delicate threads capable of carrying tiny electrical signals. These cells connected, then branched, then clustered. Eventually, a brain was born. Not a human brain, not yet, but a brain capable of awareness, of fear, of curiosity, of memory. It was made of stardust, wrapped in cells, bathed in blood, alive with light. And over millions of years, that brain grew more complex. It began to remember faces, to feel sadness, to learn joy, to imagine the future. Eventually, that brain began to wonder about the sky, to draw stars on cave walls, to ask where it came from, to look at its own hands and ask, "What am I?" That was consciousness becoming self-aware. And you carry that spark now. Right now, as you rest, as your thoughts rise and fall, as your memories drift like constellations across your mind, you are experiencing what it means to be a sentient speck of the cosmos. The same carbon that forms your neurons once drifted in a molecular cloud. The same oxygen that fuels your brain was formed in the heart of a dying sun. The iron in your blood powers the electricity that lets you think. Your consciousness is made possible by cosmic fire and quiet design. And inside your skull, your brain glows, literally. Neurons fire, sending tiny sparks across tiny gaps, synapses filled with possibility. Billions of cells communicating, remembering, dreaming, all in complete darkness. Your brain has never seen the sky, but it imagines it perfectly. Your brain remembers light not because it has seen it, but because it is made of light. You are light that became flesh. You are atoms that learn to feel. You are carbon that dreams. And dreams themselves, they are stardust in motion. Even as you sleep,
Your mind continues. It sorts. It softens. It repairs. And sometimes it travels. It returns to places long forgotten. It flies to worlds never seen. It imagines. It listens. It wanders. That wandering, that shimmering movement of mind is the universe playing within you. You are the stardust that knows it is stardust. You are the only piece of the cosmos, as far as we know, that has looked back at the night sky and understood that it came from there. You are the universe becoming conscious. You are its thought, its dream, its question, and also its answer. So tonight, as your brain begins to slow, as your thoughts become softer, as sleep begins to gather behind your eyes, remember, you are not just your body. You are the pattern of everything. And your mind, this luminous, quiet miracle, is a gift from the stars themselves. Rest now, with that truth cradling you. You are more than matter. You are awareness. You are light. And tonight, that light is safe. Take a deep, slow breath. Let your chest rise like a tide, then fall like the moonlit surface of a still lake. This is the rhythm of all things, the rising and the falling, the appearing and the fading, the becoming and the becoming again. Even stars, those seemingly eternal pinpoints of light that watch over our nights, have lifespans. They are born, they shine, and eventually they sleep. But in their sleeping, they do not disappear. They transform, they give, they scatter.
Let's begin with one. A simple star, much like our own sun. It spends most of its life fusing hydrogen into helium, radiating warmth and light for billions of years. It is steady, reliable. It holds planets in its sway. It gives energy to life. But over time, the hydrogen begins to run low. The star begins to change. It swells. It reddens. Its surface cools even as its core burns hotter than ever. It becomes a red giant, a swollen ember in the sky. Its outer layers begin to drift away, carried by slow stellar winds, like silk unraveling from a dancer's arm. What remains at its heart is a small, hot core, a white dwarf. No longer fusing, no longer burning, but still glowing. A memory of heat, a soft echo of light. This is one way a star ends, not with a bang, but with a whisper. It leaves behind clouds of color, nebulae that shimmer like ghosts in the vastness of space. And those clouds? They are made of dust, carbon, oxygen, helium, the very materials that will someday form new stars, new planets, new life. Even in its fading, a star is generous. But for larger stars, the ending is more dramatic. A massive star lives faster, burns brighter, and dies with thunder. Once it exhausts its nuclear fuel, its iron core collapses, inward, suddenly, catastrophically. In a moment, it explodes. This is a supernova. Brighter than 1 billion suns, it lights the sky for weeks, shedding layers of atoms at speeds too vast to truly grasp. Gold, silver, uranium, copper. Elements born in that final, furious moment when the star gives everything it has. Those elements will drift for millennia until they settle again in clouds, in comets, in planets, in the blood of unborn creatures. It is from these ashes that the next generation is born. You carry that gold in your veins, that silver in your bones, that calcium in your teeth. You are, in a real and quiet way, the air of a supernova's final breath. But death is not just something for stars. On Earth, it follows the same rhythm. Leaves fall, turning gold and red. They return to the soil. They feed the roots of the very trees that dropped them. An animal dies, and its body nourishes insects, fungi, the next layer of life. Your own cells, quietly, die every day and are replaced, renewed, regrown. You are not a static being. You are a river, a process. Death, in nature, is not a mistake. It is a turning. And even as we grieve loss, and we must grieve it, we can also recognize its generosity. The stardust you are made of has passed through many forms. Some of it once drifted through the lungs of dinosaurs. Some once shimmered in the eyes of ancient whales. Some once swam in oceans that no longer exist. Nothing is ever truly lost. It simply changes. It folds inward, then expands outward again. It breaks down, then feeds something new. You are part of this. Your body, someday, will return to the earth, to the sky, to the pattern. But your atoms, they will not vanish. They will move. They will join again. They will dance in roots, in clouds, in starlight. You will feed flowers, feed forests, feed the future. And in that way, you are eternal. Not in the way stories tell us, not in the way we imagine, but in the most profound and grounded and beautiful way. You are part of a cycle older than Earth, wiser than time, gentler than fear. And when you close your eyes at night, when you surrender to sleep, you are practicing the rhythm of the stars. Letting go, becoming still, trusting the turning. Because when stars sleep, they give us the pieces from which we dream. And when you sleep, you return to that rhythm. Quiet, eternal, cosmic. Rest now. Let your breath join the wind. Let your body soften like soil. Let your mind drift into that safe, sacred space between endings and beginnings. Because in truth, they are the same. You are made of endings. You are made of beginnings. You are the lullaby the universe sings to itself each time it changes form. And it sings through you. Close your eyes again if they've wandered open. Let your body rest just a little deeper. Let gravity take you, softly, lovingly, downward. Because gravity is not just a force, it's a lullaby. It holds you. It knows your weight. It whispers to you every second without a sound. And it is everywhere. It binds the stars into galaxies. It sculpts orbits. It carves spirals into the sky. It keeps the moon circling Earth, and Earth circling the sun. And here on Earth, it keeps your feet against the soil. It keeps your breath nestled in your lungs. It keeps your thoughts held in the cradle of your body. Gravity does not push. It invites. It is the invitation everything responds to. The quiet call that says, "Come closer." It has no voice, but it shapes everything. Let us go back to the early days of the universe. In the beginning, after the fire cooled, after the first hydrogen atoms formed, gravity went to work. Clouds of gas drifted in the silence. Gravity pulled them together. And when enough matter had gathered, stars were born. Not from noise, not from collision, but from gentle pressure, from the quiet insistence of gravity. Over time, those stars gathered into families, galaxies, swirls of light, bound together by gravity's invisible thread. Each galaxy turned slowly, each star held in orbit like pearls strung on an unseen cord. And the motion is not random. It is musical. Each orbit has a rhythm. Each spiral has grace. The distances are vast, but the relationships are intimate. Even in their silence, stars move in concert. They respond to one another. They follow the curve of space. They are dancing. And here on Earth, we are part of that same dance. The moon pulls at the ocean, drawing tides. And the tides pull at the shore, shaping coastlines, shaping time. The Earth spins, tilts, wobbles, all in rhythm. The seasons come and go because of that movement, because of gravity's choreography. Spring leans in, autumn leans away, and all of it happens with perfect timing. You are part of this. Even now, lying still, you are in motion. Earth spins beneath you at 1,000 miles per hour. It orbits the sun at nearly 67,000 miles per hour. And the sun drifts through the galaxy at nearly 500,000 miles per hour. You are moving through space even as you sleep. But it doesn't feel like chaos. It feels like balance. Because gravity ensures everything stays together. Not tightly, not rigidly, but in graceful relationship. And within your own body, gravity keeps your blood flowing downward. It tells your balance systems which way is up. It helps your bones grow strong. It even shapes how your cells behave. When astronauts float in space, their very biology begins to change. Because gravity isn't just a force. It's a partner. It helps you become yourself. And the same is true across the cosmos. Gravity creates orbits, loops of belonging. Planets orbit stars. Moons orbit planets. And within atoms, electrons orbit nuclei.
Motion, structure, repetition. This is music. The ancients called it the music of the spheres. The idea that heavenly bodies, as they moved, sang in tones too deep for ears to hear. Not notes on a scale, but harmony in math, in relationship, in symmetry. The distances between planets, the time it takes for them to revolve, the geometry of rings, of ellipses, of tilt. It is all music. Silent music. Endless music. And you, dear listener, are made from this same rhythm. Your heartbeat is a tempo. Your breath is a cadence. Your sleep cycles, your circadian rhythm, your very steps, all echoes of the cosmic dance. Even your voice, its pitch, its tone, its resonance, is shaped by the physics of vibration, by harmony. You are a note in the universe's song. And even if you don't hear it, you are singing. You always have been. So now, as you rest, as your muscles soften, as your breath returns to its quiet tide, feel the gravity of it. Feel how everything holds together. Feel how you are cradled in Earth's gentle pull. Feel how you belong. You do. You belong. You are not floating alone in the dark. You are part of the music. And the spheres still sing. They sing in orbits, in rotations, in spirals. They sing in your lungs, in your bones, in the curves of your fingers. So sleep now, in the rhythm of it all. You are safe. You are held. You are part of the harmony, and the universe is listening with you. Let us now walk gently, not into space, but into time, into the soft, silent memory, held in stone, in earth, in the dust beneath your feet. Settle in. Let your body grow still again, like a stone warmed by the sun. Let your thoughts soften, like soil after rain. Because where we go now is deep. Not in distance, but in memory. Beneath the soles of your feet, beneath the roots of trees and the bones of cities, beneath the shifting layers of sand and clay and ancient seabed, the earth remembers. It does not forget. It holds stories, quietly, patiently, eternally. Each layer of rock is a page, each fossil a word, each mineral vein a sentence written in pressure and time. The earth is an archive of everything that has ever happened upon it. And tonight, we'll read some of its oldest chapters. Let's begin with stone. Touch your palm to the ground, even just in your imagination, and listen. There is silence there.
but not emptiness. That silence is full. It holds the hush of ancient oceans that once covered the continents. It holds the thunder of volcanoes from when the earth was young and restless. It holds the hush of ferns swaying in swamps millions of years before flowers ever bloomed. It remembers the first raindrop that fell on dry land. And it remembers every step that followed. Because the earth keeps footprints. Not just the kind made by boots or paws, but the kind made by presence, by existence. A shell pressed into mud. A leaf that fell, then vanished. A tooth, jawbone, a ripple in the sand. Over time, those soft impressions harden. They are buried, compressed, transformed. And what remains is a fossil. Not a bone, but the shape of a bone. Not the creature itself, but its memory. Preserved in stone. Fossils are echoes. Time's way of whispering to the present. They tell us of animals long gone, the slow glide of trilobites, the thunder of dinosaurs, the feathered dance of birds becoming. They tell us of forests that stood where now there is desert, and deserts that were once sea. And sometimes they tell us of ourselves, because human memory goes back further than books, further than stories. We find fire pits from ancient camps, footprints of children who walked through ash, tools carved from bone and stone left beside the banks of rivers that no longer exist. These are fossils too. Fossils of thought, of learning, of trying. Even the dust remembers. It remembers the pollen of vanished flowers. It remembers the soot of long extinct fires. It remembers the carbon breath of creatures who lived 100 million years before the first word was spoken. And every bit of that memory is still with us. In the ground we build upon. In the water we drink. In the air we share. You are surrounded by ancient things. You are made of them. The calcium in your teeth once formed the shell of a sea creature. The iron in your blood once settled in a bed of red clay. The salt on your skin once swirled in a prehistoric tide pool. You are not just from the earth. You are the earth. Gathered, shaped, made conscious. You are the latest page in a very long story. And just like the rocks, you remember things too. Not just in your mind, but in your body. You carry memories in your muscles, in your heartbeat, in your breath. Some memories are yours alone. The voice of someone you love, the scent of your childhood home, the feel of sunlight on your face. But some are older. The instinct to blink when something moves suddenly. The comfort of rhythmic sound like waves or lullabies. The pull you feel when you stare into a campfire or up at the stars. These are ancient memories. Not learned, but inherited. The earth does not forget. And you do not either. You are part of that memory. A living chapter. A keeper of echoes. And someday,
far from now, when your body returns to the earth, you too will become part of the archive. Not lost, but remembered. Not erased, but transformed.
Perhaps a piece of you will nourish a tree. Perhaps your atoms will drift into a mountain stream. Perhaps your memory will live in the warmth you gave, in the stories you told, in the stardust you passed on to the next. So rest now, child of stars and stone. You are held by an ancient, remembering world. A world that keeps time, not in seconds, but in layers. Not in hours, but in echoes. And tonight, those echoes sing you to sleep. Let your breath grow slower now. Let your chest rise and fall like gentle waves lapping against a quiet shore. Let the weight of your body sink into whatever holds you, because tonight, the earth holds you too. Our planet, this spinning blue marble in a sea of stars, is not just where we live. It is a rare, rare thing, a sanctuary, a lullaby wrapped in sky. From far away, it looks like a pearl suspended in black velvet, delicate, soft, alive. No fire trails behind it, no engines drive it forward. It floats, steady, pulled by gravity, warmed by sunlight, watched by the moon. And upon its surface, a miracle blooms, life. No other world, not in all the space we've explored, not in all the telescopes we've turned outward, has shown even a whisper of what Earth so generously offers. Rivers that sing as they move, forests that breathe, mountains that remember, and creatures, millions of them, each carrying stardust in a different shape. Earth is the only world we know that makes lullabies out of wind, color out of stone, meaning out of silence. And somehow, against odds so wide they vanish into numbers, you were born here. You are part of it, this sanctuary in the stars. Let's walk gently, slowly, through what makes Earth home. The atmosphere, thin as a silk scarf, wrapped around a spinning sphere of rock. And yet, without it, nothing. It gives us weather, sound, color in the sky, breath in our lungs. The air you breathe tonight has moved through trees, through oceans, through creatures now long gone. A molecule of oxygen might have once passed through a dinosaur or drifted in the lungs of a whale singing in the deep. When you inhale, you are sharing in the same breath that has moved through the world for millions of years. It is invisible, but it holds you, always. Earth's water, ancient, sacred, endlessly moving. It flows through rivers and veins, through storms and tears, through clouds and cups and oceans and you. It is always in motion, always changing form. Rain becomes river, river becomes sea, sea becomes sky. And through it all, it carries memory. The oceans remember the moon. Tides rise and fall in its rhythm. And within you, the water in your blood, in your cells, in your thoughts, responds to that pull, just like the sea. When you cry, you release the ocean inside you. When you sleep, your cells bathe in the slow flow of starlit water. Earth gave you that gift, and still gives it every moment you live. From single-celled wanderers to coral reefs, to great blue whales, to redwood forests and bees and birds and quiet fungi threading through the soil. Earth is not just alive, it is life. It doesn't just support life, it sings with it. And you are a verse in that song.
Your body is part of Earth's ecosystem. You breathe out carbon dioxide. Plants breathe it in. Plants breathe out oxygen. You breathe it in. You eat food grown from soil, and that food becomes you. Every thought you've had is powered by Earth's sunlit harvest. You are in relationship with all things here, not above them, not apart from them, with them. When you touch a leaf, you are touching something that turned sunlight into sugar. When you walk barefoot, you are pressing your skin to a planet that has known every birth, every death, every sigh, every song. Earth has held you since the beginning. And even before you were born, it shaped the conditions for your breath to exist. Earth is not just beautiful, it is balanced. The tilt of its axis brings the seasons. Its magnetic field shields us from cosmic storms. Its distance from the sun keeps water liquid, keeps temperatures steady, keeps time flowing in gentle circles. It rotates, it orbits, it wobbles, and still, it keeps balance. You are part of that balance. When you feel out of rhythm, when your thoughts race, when your breath is short, come back to the planet beneath you. It is spinning, but it is steady. It moves through space, but never forgets its path. It will not lose you, and it does not ask you to do anything except to be here, to rest, to breathe, to remember that you are home, not just in a body, not just in a bed, but on a planet that sings with life, a rare, rare place in all the cosmos. And tonight, as you lie still, the trees make oxygen for you. The tides continue their dance. The mountains watch. The sky covers you like a soft, eternal blanket. You belong here. This is your sanctuary, your story, your sky, your earth. Sleep now in its arms. Rest your eyes. Feel the warmth behind your eyelids. That warmth is thought, is memory, is motion made gentle. It's your mind still glowing in the quiet. You are more than cells, more than carbon, more than light and gravity and breath. You are awareness. And with awareness comes choice. You are stardust with direction, a cosmic echo that decides. Let's sit with that. You've come from atoms forged in ancient stars, from cells honed by millions of years of evolution, from a planet so rare it sings with life. And now,
You can write. You can speak. You can paint galaxies on ceilings and build symphonies with your breath. You can look at the stars and imagine what they might feel. You can hear a bird sing and wonder what it dreams of. You can cry for someone else's pain. You can laugh in moments of light. You can create. And in that creating, you become something the universe has never seen before.
A star that remembers. A galaxy that loves. A speck of dust that carries wisdom. You are the universe, finally able to reflect on itself. And what you do matters. Every kindness, every artful act, every quiet decision to heal instead of harm, each one ripples outward. You're not just passing through the world, you are shaping it. In small ways, in soft tones, in gestures you might not even remember. But the universe remembers. Because when stardust learns to care, to hold, to dream, the cosmos changes course. It becomes music. Let us walk now through the ways you carry that music forward. No other creature on earth tells stories the way you do. You gather sounds, shape them into syllables, send them across space through breath and vibration. With language, you've built bridges across time. You've passed down myths and warnings and lullabies. You've carried the memories of ancestors into digital clouds. Your voice is stardust turned into sound. And when you speak with love, to a friend, to a child, to a stranger, you're continuing the oldest song. You are shaping reality with your voice. And that, dear listener, is cosmic magic. You are curious. That spark in you, the one that wonders what lies beyond the stars, why we feel what we feel, where we go when we sleep. That spark is the universe looking inward. You're not content with what is, you seek what could be. You dream up new ways to heal. You imagine tools before they exist. You solve puzzles that no other creature even sees. And every question you ask adds to the song. Even the unspoken ones. Even the ones without answers. Wonder is its own melody. And you, with your quiet why, are part of it. With hands of bone and skin and starlight, you've painted, composed, woven, sculpted, engineered. You've taken the raw material of the earth, clay, pigment, metal, stone, and transformed it. You've built libraries, temples, hospitals, homes. You've stitched together quilts that warm generations. You've crafted songs that comfort across centuries. All with dust. All with the same atoms that once drifted through the void. Creation is memory, made visible. And you are a remembering star. Perhaps the most remarkable thing of all, you feel. Deeply, boldly, tenderly. You grieve, you rejoice. You hold someone's hand when they are scared. You cry at poetry. You laugh until your ribs ache. You sit quietly beside someone just so they don't feel alone. This is not weakness. This is cosmic truth. The stars gave you atoms. Earth gave you form. But love, that is what gives you depth. When you love, you extend the universe's reach. You become part of something larger than yourself.
A constellation made of connection. Even in solitude, you are never alone, because every kind thought enters the field of life, and life responds. You are not the only being here. You share this home with oceans, trees, birds, insects, microbes, clouds. And you are not separate from them. You are with them. And now, more than ever, you are called to care, to protect, to listen, to heal, to choose materials that don't wound the soil, to use energy that doesn't silence rivers, to plant seeds that bloom beyond your own time, because you are capable, and you are not powerless. When you treat the earth gently, you are thanking the stars for their gift. You are singing back to the universe with your choices, and the harmony deepens. You are part of a human symphony, each person a note, each gesture a tone, each life a thread in a grand, unfolding score. You are not an accident. You are a crescendo. And your life, your quiet, beating, breathing life, is a verse worth singing. Tonight, as you lay in stillness, let this be your lullaby. You are made of stars. You carry light. And that light continues forward in every kind word, in every creative act, in every choice to care. You are not small. You are part of the music. You are the music. And the stars are listening. Softly then, let us come to the final light, not the end, but the deep warm hush that comes just before sleep. This is the moment the stars exhale, the world stills, and the universe wraps you in its breath. You are stardust, the science of our cosmic origins. Section 16, the sleep of stars, rest, return, and the endless becoming. Expanded. Close your eyes now, if you haven't already. Let your limbs grow heavier, not with burden, but with belonging. You have traveled far, through atoms and oceans, through galaxies and memory, through fire and silence and song. And now we rest, because even the stars, those brilliant torches of the cosmos, must sleep. Their fires do not burn forever. Their songs do not echo endlessly. They too have seasons. First a glow, then a blaze, then a softening, a slow, sacred return to the dust from which they came. And so it is for all things, including you, not only in the great cycle of life, but each day, each night, each sleep is a tiny return, a surrender, a quiet falling inward, a journey back to the place where your thoughts first formed. You are not disappearing, you are deepening. Like stars, you burn all day, in tasks, in feeling, in moving, in loving. And like stars, you are allowed to fade, to flicker, to fold in, to rest. Tonight, as you sleep, your body repairs, your brain cleanses,
Your cells sing lullabies in chemical tones, restoring what was spent. You do not need to try. You only need to be.
Because sleep is not nothingness. It is returning to the field from which you came. That field of stardust, pattern, and promise. In the darkness behind your eyes, memories whisper. Dreams lift their heads. Time stretches and folds. You become light again, fluid, free. You visit places that never were. You hold hands with people who are far away. You fly. You float. You fall into rhythm with the stars. Because the stars sleep too. They dim. They dissolve. They wait. And in that waiting, they prepare to become something new. A nebula. A planet. A story. You are doing the same. Each night, you rehearse rebirth. Each sleep, you practice becoming. You awake tomorrow not quite the same. A little wiser. A little softer. A little more in tune. Because that's what the universe does. It becomes. It rests. It transforms. It continues. And you are made of that same promise. Tonight, let your thoughts grow quiet. Let them float like feathers into the starlit air. Let go of today's sharp edges. Let go of the names you carried. Let go of needing to solve, to fix, to hold. You are already enough. You are already home. Your breath is the tide. Your dreams are the sky. Your stillness is the song. And the stars are sleeping with you. So go now. Go gently. Let the lullaby of the cosmos sing you into stillness. Let the night cradle you in the arms of 1,000 galaxies. Let your atoms rest, knowing they are eternal. Let your soul rest, knowing it is beloved. Let your whole being, your mind, your breath, your beautiful, glowing self, fall softly, peacefully, gratefully, into the sleep of stars. Good night, Stardust. You are home. You are whole, and the universe is holding you.